Hi guys, today we're back at Wander Home and we are checking out the difference between a Columbus 600D and a Columbus 600E. What does that one letter mean? So when it comes to the D or the E lettering on the 600, it's quite important because it's all about the shape of the bed. So the D models means that you sleep transverse across the back of the van. So one of you against the back doors of the van and one of you slightly further forward, but you're sleeping acrossways in the van. The E models means that you sleep long ways, longitudinally in the van. So that means if you need to get up in the middle of the night, one of you can just haul over to the center and then go to the toilet or get up as you might need to. So that's the main difference between a D and an E. Let's have a look at what it means in reality inside these two vans. It's great that we're here at Wander Home where they've managed to get so many different Westfalias next to each other. And what we're going to look at is we're going to have a look at the 600E, which is this one here. So longitudinal beds, and then we're going to have a look at that one there, which is a 600D. The reason we're not looking at the silver one in the middle is because that's got a pop top and it's just a bit darker inside to show you the difference. So I'm going to show you on both of these without the pop top. So let's have a look at the 600E first of all, and the first thing you'll notice is the distance between the bench seat and the swivel seat for the passenger. So this has got the table installed, as you can see, but you can see there's not a huge amount of leg room there. Floor space, not too bad at all. But as we swing round, this is where the 600E really comes into its own. So if you value your bed and you want the best bed possible in a 6-meter Columbus, the E is going to be the one for you, because this is 1.8 meters wide. And it's slightly different lengths on either side. So you've got 1.97, I think it is this side, and I think it's 1.85 on the other side. And then obviously, because it's super wide, it's 1.8 meters wide, it just makes a huge bed. You also can have these side windows, so really nice to be able to just kind of look out. And the reason they've done that is because you don't get the back windows, and you don't get the back windows because that's where you put all your pillows and you sleep obviously with your heads down at the bottom there. Now I think in terms of the features of the van and the way that you get USB sockets at the top of each of the pillars, you can see them just in the corners there, and the little cubby holes and stuff, sleeping longitudinally in the van makes really good sense. I could see how this would be perfect. The only thing that I can't see in here is some light switches down at the head end, because they are here. So you could sleep the other way around. You could sleep with your heads at this end, but not great for your pillows and stuff because they might end up falling off. So you just got to be a bit careful there. But you can see that in terms of the space you get, obviously we've got the normal kitchen block here. They've obviously had to utilize some of the space where there was a kitchen worktop here for bed, although you do still get your sizable cupboard underneath, which has got your hanging rail and stuff in if you wanted to use it for that. So you can see that they're trying to give you as much space as possible. Quick view of the bathroom. Obviously you can see the layout in there, pretty straightforward. Window, and then your mirrored storage at the top and all of that kind of stuff. So pretty straightforward. Now, one thing that is important to note in here, you can probably see already, there is not enough space behind this seat here to be able to have the front butterfly bed. And that's the one where the whole seat swings forward and you can create that extra bed here. So bit more space constrained at the front here, and you'll see exactly what I mean. Now we're going to switch over to the 600D. 600D then, let's have a quick look in here. So you can see straight away, bit more legroom at the front, although this hasn't got the table set up in it at the moment. You can see there's a bit more legroom at the front there. You can see that even though this has got the front foldable bed in, with the bench seat being mounted slightly further forward and all that kind of stuff, still more space. You can see the extra piece on the kitchen worktop there, so Kitchen worktop, obviously the same all the way along up to this point, but then you've got this extra, it's about 46 centimetres worth of extra worktop there, an extra drawer underneath, same cupboard underneath that, but then your compromise is the bed at the back. So you've got a transverse bed here, you sleep left to right, and obviously you've got your back windows in the doors at the back, in the barn doors, but you don't get any windows in the sleeping area on the sides. So just a bit different. Obviously sleeping left to right in here with your heads just on this side means that the switches and everything here and the controls are a bit more accessible. Just show you in the bathroom as well. So they've turned the bathroom round in this slightly different design, but again, in terms of space, very, very similar. Shower cubicle, they've just designed it. You've got your mirrored storage at the top, just the same. But the main difference in here really is the extra living space at the front. Bed dimensions wise, in the 600D, you're talking 140 in widthways, and you're talking 197 lengthways as you sleep across the van. So just if you were wondering as well, we're going to show you in this middle van here. So this is a 600D, but it hasn't got the butterfly bed. So if you've ever wondered what a Columbus is like, where they haven't specified the butterfly bed, this is what you get. So same deal, you get a foldable front seat, so that can come over, and then underneath there, you've got big storage in here. That's also where your table's stored. So that's where you can keep your table, which goes on the rail. So arguably one of the best places for it that I can think of in a Westfalia, because it's nice and easy to get hold of. You've got some storage underneath the seat just there, and obviously you've got a huge area there. And what I've seen people do when they have big like inverter setups and they have lithium batteries and all of that kind of stuff, they've used quite a lot of the space in here to keep all of that in, because it's quite close to all of the main electrics and everything else. So that is how it works if you don't have the front butterfly bed. And it's all got a bit of hydraulics and springs and everything else, so actually it's all really nice and easy to move around. So there you go, that is a very quick look at the difference between a 600D and a 600E. Obviously you're probably thinking, how do I get it all? How can I just want it all. That's the 640E. So the 640E Columbus, 6.4 metre long van, you get the extra space at the front, you get the longitudinal big bed. So it's the van that does it all. However, it costs a little bit more money. You do have to drive around in a 6.4 metre van and be able to park a 6.4 metre van and store it rather than a 6 metre van. So definitely something to think about there. A couple of things that I mentioned just as we were going through. So if you're thinking about a 600E because you want the extra space for the bed, means you can't have that bed at the front with the seat folding over the butterfly bed. You can have a pop-top option on all of the Columbus range. So whether it's a 5.4 metre van, a 6 metre van, or the 6.4 metre van, you can have a pop-top on every single one of those. So that might help you choose in terms of being able to think, well, actually I need to carry 4 people. Do I have the butterfly bed, or do I go for a pop-top or some other configuration? There are a lot of different ways of being able to configure your Columbus, so do think about the pop-top option if that's something that you might need. So just to give you an idea of prices, this is August 2025, and I'm just going to have a look at the price sheet here just to make sure I tell you right. So a 540D, so 5.4 metre long van, and I'm going to give you the price for the 180 horsepower automatic variant of these with no options on whatsoever. So this is the base price of the van, £73,532. If you want the 600D, that's £76,665. If you want the 600E, that's £76,219. So it's very slightly cheaper for the 600E rather than the D. And if you want a 640E, so the one that does it all, but 6.4 metre long, that's £77,861. So actually, between the 600E, the 600D and the 640D, There's not a big price difference between those different models of van. Going from the 5.4 metre van up to the 6 metre or the 6.4, a bit more of a jump there. Clearly there's a whole ton of options that you can put on these vans. They're incredibly configurable. You can get the information directly off Westfalia's website, but if I was you, I'd talk to somebody like Wander Home. They know what they're doing in terms of specifying these things. They've always got vans to come and have a look at. We've been lucky enough to be able to see these side by side because they've managed to get a couple in stock. That's why we've taken the opportunity just to show you on a video really clearly what the difference is between the D and the E models, because there are a few compromises on both. So hopefully this video has been helpful for you. Do check out Wander Home if you're interested in these vans. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you again soon for some more Campervan Time.